Hi, I'm Kim Stafford, and I've got 5 minutes of top tips for how to challenge your mentees and help you give feedback that is more constructive and is listened to. I think when you're working with a mentee and maybe you're seeing things on farm that they could do differently or better, or you maybe just want to challenge some of the ways that they're working or the ways that they're thinking, it's useful to have tactics to do that. That's what this session's aimed at, and there will be a handout that goes with it too that's available to you. Um, what I want to just get you to think about is the idea of challenging and giving feedback is you want people to listen to that feedback and you don't want them to take it personally. That's the really important factor here. So when you're actually setting out to challenge or give feedback, it's important that you remember your objective is not to get that message across and to get them to take it on board. Your objective is to actually get them to actually listen and stay engaged. If you can get people listening, and that's more to do with how you're actually challenging and how you're giving the feedback, then there is more chance of that being taken on board. Um, what I will say is that when you set out to have that conversation with your mentee, it's important that you're thinking about how you're going to manage that conversation. So make sure as a mentor that you don't go out and react. Maybe if your mentee doesn't want to listen or doesn't like the challenge that you're making, that they push back. And the temptation is that then you work in a more reactive way and a more emotional way. If you are going to challenge and give feedback, just make sure that you're responding and you're thinking before you're speaking. And that will mean that you've probably got a little bit more control over the words that come out of your mouth. The other thing that's important is that you're not judgmental. As a mentor, it may be that you're dealing with a mentee who has got particular views and opinions or ways of working. And it's important that even though you don't agree with them, that you still listen to them and their reasons why they think that's the right way of working or they think that's the right opinion on how to do something. So don't judge them, uh, but listen to them and understand why. That's the most important thing. Um, it's important that they feel heard because when you start challenging or giving feedback, sometimes it can become a one-way conversation as you end up pushing and doing all the talking, and they then disengage because they don't feel as though what they think or what they're doing has got any sort of valid place in that conversation. Influencing and convincing are two very different things. When you convince, you're trying to push your views and opinions onto somebody, possibly because maybe proven, tried and tested and based on good practice. But what's important is people don't like being told what to do. So it's a really important tactic when you're working as a mentor to know the difference between convincing, which is a lot of telling, and influencing, which is often where you're asking questions. And if people do resist the challenge that you're making or the feedback that you're giving, then the important thing is not to react again, because then you move back into convincing mode. The important thing is to listen and try to understand where they're coming from. So, oh, that's interesting. You clearly don't see that as a way that you could work moving forward. So help me understand why, because I'm interested in why you don't think that's right for you. It's just staying calm and keeping the conversation going. And they need to feel part of that conversation. Just in summary, the things that I would say you need to be remembering is challenging should be about having a conversation, not you telling somebody they're right, wrong, or there's a better way. It should be a conversation. And also, if you're going to challenge and give feedback, be specific about what you maybe have seen or you've heard or you think they could do differently or better. Be specific, be descriptive, give examples, provide evidence to support your case. And focus on the issue. Don't turn it into something that's personal. Focus on something that can be changed. And if you actually are more objective about the feedback and less personal, again, that engagement will continue. And just make sure that you're asking questions rather than becoming defensive. Because if they don't agree with your feedback, the important thing as a mentor, if they've got a right to disagree, the mentee really has a choice in this, and that's really important. It's not about you pushing forward how you want them to work. It's about them making the decision about whether they want to listen to and take on board that feedback. Thank you, and I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon.